amigo.
Hola.
How was it? How was the experience? Good?
Oh man, it was wonderful.
Okay.
Tell us about this cenote.
Well, this cenote is an open cenote. It's in the middle of mangrove. It will be pretty much a spring for you. The cenote has almost 300 meters distance. That's the distance you swim. Because it's mangrove, all the life forms in here. Like all the moms come and leave their babies here so they can grow up without predators. And when they are big enough, they go to the ocean. There is a connection, if you can see it right here, there is a tunnel that crosses all the restaurant and the street, and all the water goes into the ocean.
Flows into the ocean. So that cave down there, at the end of this cenote, that's where the manatees go out.
That's
to the
right.
ocean.
That's right.
Wow.
We used to have a lot of manatees here, but people start coming. These animals are very shy.
Yeah.
So they left.
They left.
So just we kept the name of the manatees. We hope the manatees come back one day. You know? It's really nice.
I'm dead. If you, my audience, if you were here with us right now, I would make one of these for each one of you, and I would feed you my hand. You know how Jesus had 5 loaves of bread and 5 fish? I would have all of the salsa and all of the shrimp ceviche, and I would feed the whole audience, my whole audience in Omaha. There's so few of you, I know someone's saying that right now. There's so few of you, it wouldn't be a damn problem. Right here on our TV present, but right now. We are going to talk with Roger Fibby, a musician, an artist, an arranger, a performer. He is a vocalist extraordinaire. And he's going to tell us about his career, what he's doing, what he's going to be doing, and where he can be found on all the social media, all on the planet. But I got to tell you about this guy, because you know what? You're going to know about him, and guess what I want to be able to say? I told you first on Artiste Presents in Omaha. So, tune in, and we'll be right back after this message. But what brings you to San Pedro this week?
I'm here on a few days of holiday, as they say, vacation, días de vacaciones, and I've been enjoying this region. I was in Roatan first for about 5 days, and then hopped a flight a couple of days ago over here, and I've just been enjoying San Pedro. This is my second time here, and I stayed down the beach a little bit last time, and not far from where we are now. And I'm just here, just enjoying the culture, enjoying the food, the ceviche I love. I've been eating that almost every day. And yeah, just sort of on a bit of a decompression trip. And every now and then we need that for health and wellness. So that's why I'm here.
And your roots are in St. Croix, the Virgin Islands. Tell us a bit about coming up in the Virgin Islands. I know about St. Thomas, but I don't know that much about St. Croix. But tell us about that.
Coming up in St. Croix, I lived there till I was about 9 years old, and I was, and still am, a true island boy, and I loved it. I didn't realize, and I'm still realizing now, as I'm much older, what the transition meant for me to live there and to move to the States. And even now, it affects me in a lot of ways, and there are a lot of things that I've had to sort of grow out of that come from that experience, and just sort of being in a new place, in a new country, and having to assimilate and having to learn different ways and curl your accent a little bit, and at the same time still trying to keep your identity of where you're from. And so I grew up in a way where my parents, they were trying to sort of make that balance and sort of keep us grounded in our identity and in our ethnicity as Crucian people, people from the West Indies, people from the Virgin Islands, and at the same time knowing that we had to, sort of step it up a little bit maybe, and just sort of blend in and try to kind of do things differently. And there's a lot of good things about that, and there's a lot of wonderful things that I think I'm able to do now because of that experience. I can blend in a lot of different places. I'm bicultural, so I have two sort of, worldviews, I guess, or ways of looking at things that have helped me along the way from that experience. But at the same time, there's a downside to that too. And so sometimes when you go back to those places, you think that you're going to be smack dab right, back home and pick up where you left off. But the truth is, the longer you stay abroad, in many ways, you kind of end up being, I don't want to say you don't fit in, but you kind of end up feeling still like you're half and half. So in the States, when I moved to the States, I was 9 years old, I had a very strong recognition that I was not from the States, and I got teased a lot, and people told my sister and I to go back to Africa, and they laughed at our accent, they laughed at our hair, they laughed at some of the ways we dressed, and it was really clear growing up that I wasn't from the States, and that I wasn't like my other students and classmates, and then at the same time, fast forward to many years later, when I go home now, I'm very much Crucian and I'm very much West Indian, but I still in some ways feel the opposite of that, and I feel like there's a part of me that's not fully, fully Crucian or fully, as the people who are still there now, some of my own cousins and family and friends. And so people, my family and friends, some of them would tease me about my accent. Oh, you lost your accent. And so it is a bit of a half and half now at this point, wherever I am. I'm in the States, and I'm very fully sort of aware that I'm West Indian and I'm Crucian. And then when I go home, they remind me that I'm Americanized. So it's a bit of that, which is, I think, a lot of people who are bicultural, who come from different backgrounds and who end up assimilating or mixing in, we all go through that similar experience. And that's an experience that I think I'm only just starting to really grasp in the last couple of years, how much it affects me even now. And it's been many, many years since I lived in St. Croix, but it affects me in those ways. So that's something that is interesting. But I love St. Croix. It's where I was born, in Christiansted. It's a little island in the Virgin Islands. We are a small, big island, and we're a U.S. province, so we have all of the benefits of travel and government and things like that the U.S. brings, but we are very distinctly Caribbean, and so that's where I'm from. In the States, I'm from more or less the Washington, D.C. area, where we kind of settled when I was growing up, and lived there up until high school, and then I moved to go to school in Boston. I know you didn't ask me all of this, but if it's okay, I might as well just carry on. But I went to school in Boston, went to Berklee College of Music, which is, everybody who's been to Boston knows where that is. right on Mass Ave, and then I moved to New York in the year 2000, and lived in New York for 10 years, and then I've moved to other places. I spent some time in LA, and then most recently I lived in Spain and London, and now I'm back in Washington, D.C. So I'm a bit of a world traveler, I guess, for better or for worse.
Yeah, I guess you could say that you're about a gypsy. You're
Yes.
a third world child, and you're a gypsy.
I have that on my Twitter account, actually. On my Twitter account, it says artist, music business professional, songwriter, producer, gypsy, and then it says Pisces, because those are all other things as well that describe me.
Music, schools of music don't get any better than that. That is the school of music in this country that we call America. So this man has a very good education, you know, top shelf. But after you graduated, Roger, where did you see your career going? What was your plan?
My latest album is really a growth album. It's called The Shedding, and that album, among all the other things, you can get through my website, fibbymusic.net. You can also find it online on iTunes, itunes.com/rogiers, Spotify, everything. Although we try not to do Spotify too much, but I understand. Some people like to discover new music there. So The Shedding is my latest work. The single is Messed Up on Love. That's the lead single. And we shot a video for that came out on Vivo in 2013. We got some nice viewership with that. And so if you are on Vivo, look up Rogier Messed Up on Love, ROGIERS, and share the video. And I hope you like it. And there will be plenty more. Right now, my favorite song off that album would probably be, it's a tie between Mess Up on Love and Good to Know You. Right now, my favorite song is probably between probably between Mess Up on Love and Good to Know You, and sort of I go back and forth between those two songs. But Messed Up on Love was like my baby. That was like all of our babies, all of the crew and the people who I was working with. We really worked hard on that song, and a lot of that record I worked with David Hunter, and we produced together a lot of those songs. Also worked with Seven Davis Jr. on that album, and Boyan Dujic, who he and I produced the first album, and so we worked together for that. And so The Shedding is the newest album of mine, but there's still new stuff coming out, like literally this month. I worked a lot with the Rurals, with Andy Compton out of the UK. We've got a whole new album of material that's come out. One More Day is one of the songs that's really big in South Africa. Empty Space, Sunny Side. In South Africa, they've really been supporting those songs a lot, playing them on radio. We've gotten a lot of support here in the States as well, off of Progressive Underground Radio in NPR in Detroit. And just a lot of people are really coming on board. And so, I'm just really grateful, because I was about to quit, and sometimes I still feel like I'm going to quit. But everyone has really been supportive with the music, and I just want you all to check it out, and and give me some feedback. fibbymusic.net is the main website. Once again, you can find me on YouTube, on iTunes. If you put in YouTube Roger, there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes up. You can see all my live stuff. You can see audio or hear audio. So there's just a lot of content out there. You can find me, and I just look forward to meeting you all on the road sometime,
Thanks a lot, Roger.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Yeah. Right now, and welcome back to Artiste Presents. We're talking with Mr. Wilton Lewis here in San Pedro, Ambergris Caye, Belize. And where did we just... Oh, we were talking about the different ethnic groups who are here in Belize. And we just mentioned the Bayman, and how the Bayman hooked up with, how the Bayman had jungle fever and hooked up with the African
slaves and created what's called the Creoles. But anyway, what's really, really interesting here, Wilton, Mr. Lewis here, is from the people that are called Garifuna.
Garifuna.
Garifuna. Now, they have a different tradition. They were never slaves. They were here. No, it's not for me to tell this story. It's for Wilton to tell this story. But they didn't come out of slavery. They were the black folks who were here in these islands, and they were not slaves. As a matter of fact, they fought these folks. They fought them and made sure. Well, they fought the Europeans, and they were not in slavery. They fought them and kept their freedom in this Western Hemisphere. Well, anyway, tell us about the origins of the Garifuna people.
Well, it goes like this. Garifuna people mainly from Africa, right? Part of Africa, on the west coast, I believe. All right, we were brought over. They wanted to take us as slaves. Managed to take that over, our vessel or not. We settled in St. Vincent. We were there, and then what happened is the British people again, they like took it over, but because we were always fighting with them and all that, for territory, we were there, and then but eventually they ended up conquering. We had our main chief, Chatoyer, Joseph Chatoyer, who was our main big chief, who lost his life in one of the battle that they ended up the British they won. So what they did, they exiled us. So we took off in our boats and all that, and we came and settled throughout Central America, mainly Nicaragua, Honduras, and Belize.
Nicaragua, Honduras, and Belize.
Yes.
So after you guys had the war with them, you guys left.
Yes.
St. Vincent.
We were exiled. Yes. So we still have Garifuna people in St. Vincent. Still, up to today, And then you find the biggest group of Garifuna people. They live in like Honduras.
Honduras.
Yes.
Wow. You know what? That is really amazing to me. Folks, how many of you knew? I know I did not know that there were Garifuna people in Honduras. Black folks in Honduras. Black folks in Honduras.
Yes.
Wow.
So if you find when you meet up to them, they speak the language, but they also speak Spanish. Yes.
Get that? The Garifuna people have their own language as well. I can't even begin to tell you how much respect I have from that. You guys have your own language, you know your history.
Our own culture.
Your own culture.
Own religion.
Own religion?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, in our religion, we have our temple, which we call the Garifuna is the Dabuyeba. It's the church that we go to, and we give prayers or whatnot to the ancestors and do our ceremonies. And we do our rituals with our drums. We have our high priest. And do other little rituals that we call the shugo and the dugo. So the dugo is like a mass for the ancestors. We do a ceremony.
Okay.
That's the main idea behind the dugo, our church, our religion. So and then it got mixed up because most Garifuna people are Christians, Catholics.
Okay.
When that came in, by the Spaniards and all that, those days, But our main religion is Dugo.
Dugo.
Yes.
That's the Garifuna religion. Wow. My goodness gracious. Oh, I saw something here that I wrote down. Oh, I'm going to have to take off my glasses so I can see this. And, oh yeah, last weekend, the Garifuna people had a conference here in San Pedro. And every year, Wilton was telling me, every year they have a conference to sit down to discuss all the issues that are important to the people and make decisions on where they are going forward as a people.
Yes, every year.
Hello, Omaha. Maybe we need to have us a convention where we sit down and start calling some shots and say we're going to do this, that, and the other. A, B, C, D. Talking, reasoning about constructive things. Talking, reasoning about building, nation building, about don't get me started.
To be united.
To be united as a people.
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness. I just get chills thinking about this because you guys are so much ahead, there's so much that we as Americans could learn from you folks. How you maintained, how you fought the power and you won, how you maintained your identity and your culture.
Still fighting the power.
Still fighting the power.
The fight.
It's a race.
Yes.
It's not a 100-yard dash.
It's a race.
It's a long race. It's a rat's race, as Bob Marley used to say.
Exactly, a rat race.
Some will win. And when you think it's peace and safe, there's sudden destruction.
Exactly.
Because collective security for surety, yeah.
Exactly.
Don't forget your history.
Know your destiny.
Know your destiny. Because in an abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Rat race.
Correct.
Oh,
it's a disgrace.
Rat race. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, there's something else I wanted to ask you about here. What was that? Oh, the Jankunu dance. Jankunu dance.
Yes, that's a festive time of the year for us.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, for explanation, it's a ritual dance. You know, it was a dance used by our ancestors once every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know that because like we said, we sometimes used to have like mad where we weren't slaves or so, but we worked for people and things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like whereby you have the high people, or we call them like the masters.
Yeah.
Would give us that, you know, that time of the year to do our festivities, come together, have that party and all that, no. So what they used to do, we dress up as them.
Okay.
The clothing,
mm-hmm.
if the clothing has different explanations, no?
And
different meanings.
Okay.
The face, if you notice, the face of the Jankunu man is pink.
Okay.
Represents the white man's face.
Okay.
You know, but we leave that as that part.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wear shells, and the clothing. It's 2 times of the year. Sorry, one is for like New Year's, and the other one is around Christmas time.
Okay.
Different attire for both. And the dance with the Jankunu, the drummer follows the dancer.
Okay.
So he puts off his show and the drummer has to catch up and do all precision and everything, whatever he does.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a big festivity for us.
And you know what? I missed all of this by 1 week. If I'd been I was in country. Well, I wasn't in this country 1 week ago, but when it happened, I was in Mexico, up in Cancun. And if I had known that this was happening, I could have changed it all around and come here first. Had this wonderful experience to be here for the Jankunu, to see the Jankunu dancers and the Jankunu dance itself. Oh my goodness, that would have been something for me to see, and I could have videotaped it, and I could show it to you folks. And
YouTube.
yeah. So when is it going to happen next year?
It's in December, like December 26th,
Okay.
Boxing Day. We're
Okay.
here in Belize, and it's like normally 3 days, 4 days now we do it, and then until January 1st, New Year's Day.
Okay.
So we also have the Garinagos living abroad, like in US. They most of them come back home
Come back home.
to videotape that and stuff, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Man.
so
Ooh, that would be so wonderful. That would be so wonderful. And the other thing, talking about the different ethnic groups again around here, the Mayan are here, and we see them. When you see the Mayan folk that are around here, they're very, very short, and they're not very tall. Maybe 5 foot.
yeah, 5 foot.
5 foot tall, and they have a really long history here as well. Their culture is it's a phenomenal culture. Their culture has some roots with the Olmec, because what we know today is that the pyramids that the Mayan have here in Belize and in Mexico, it's the same pyramid that was built in Egypt and in the Sudan, and it's called a step pyramid, where it's step, 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 step. Those are step pyramids, and that's a style of pyramid that was built during the time that the people in the Nubian people were in control in Egypt. This was before the folks up north. There was a lower Egypt and upper Egypt. Well, the folk in lower Egypt were in control, and that's when they were doing the step pyramids. And it was during this time that the Sudanese people, the Olmec, and I want you all to Google Olmec heads. I want you to Google that. They came to Mexico. I think it's Tabasco State, and around Veracruz, and the city. Oh, you told me that you were in Villahermosa once.
Yeah, passed through Villahermosa and did some music festivals around Veracruz.
Oh, and there's something else that's very, very, very important that you need to know about. Andy
Palacio.
Andy Palacio was like the Bob Marley of the Garifuna music scene.
Yes.
Phenomenal musician, really heavy man. He was just highly respected. But like I said, he was like the Bob Marley of the Garifuna music scene. And guess who played with the band?
I wonder who was that.
Yes, Wilton played with him, and very sadly, he passed away
2008.
2000.
But it's my right.
Okay, I just got it all out.
Yes, it
I'm getting ready to have it.